All right, everyone, we begin with the shocking news regarding a familiar face returning to run the House of Mouse.
See? It needs fixing, and I'm the fella to fix it.
Oh yes, Bob Iger, the former CEO of the Walt Disney Company, is back in the leading role, thus replacing his PR-plagued successor, Bob Chapek.
He is returning to work this morning. Bob Iger retired from the company less than a year ago, but he is back, agreeing to serve as the CEO.
This comes after Disney announced $1.5 billion in streaming losses last quarter, not to mention theme park fans being upset, Disney cable network struggling, and some political related controversies. Oh yeah, Chapek was also the one that had that very public pay dispute with Scarlett Johansson.
We have to go back to where it all started, so they never do that to anyone again.
Iger, on the other hand, was the one who oversaw the acquisitions of Marvel, Star Wars, and 21st Century Fox. All right, well, here to share her hot takes with us today is the Watch Mojo lady herself, Rebecca Brayton. Rebecca, starting with Disney. Bob Iger, is he best for business? And what about us, the fans?
Yeah, I don't think this is a hot take. I think Bob Iger is best for business and for the fans. He definitely turned things around for Disney. And I think we can all agree that the Bob Chapek era was moderately not successful. So I think a lot of fans are very excited to see Bob Iger back.
Oh boy, after a party like this, there's just one thing to say. Thanks for celebrating with me. Well, good night, everybody.
Okay, well, moving on to movie news, as it's been announced that a bit of visual effects wizardry will be used to turn back the clock in the highly anticipated Indiana Jones 5.
Closer.
Yep, Indy himself, Harrison Ford, will be de-aged using special effects for a portion of the film. This in order to have the actor resemble how he looked in the original 80s movie trilogy. It was revealed that the sequence will take place during the movie's opening, where Indy will be placed in the year 1944, battling who else but a group of Nazis.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Now this is nothing new, of course, as the de-aging technique has been used in such films as Gemini Man and Captain Marvel.
Excuse me, miss. You know anything about a lady blowing a hole through the roof of that Blockbuster over there?
Rebecca, de-aging Harrison Ford, cheap gimmick or a great way to tell the story?
Cheap gimmick. Next question. No, I'm kidding. No, sorry. Like, I don't think the de-aging thing works. It doesn't work for me. It always looks wrong. So, cheap gimmick. Sorry.
Trust me.
All right, Rebecca, moving on to something just a little bit different for us, as FIFA's World Cup has been kicked into high gear. But there's more than a little bit of controversy this year, mixed with all the excitement.
Not getting hold of the ball, and it's sent into the middle, the first goal of the World Cup!
Being held in the country of Qatar, the global men's soccer tournament is marred in some serious human rights violations and accusations of corruption.
Shortly after the World Cup was awarded here, allegations of corruption surfaced that FIFA officials had taken bribes to vote in favor of Qatar's bid, something that FIFA and Qatari officials denied.
And while some celebrities are boycotting the event, like Dua Lipa and Rod Stewart, some celebs are not. They include the likes of Morgan Freeman and BTS member Jungkook, who both appeared at the opening ceremony.
Let's go!
Other artists will take part in state-sponsored concerts during the World Cup, including Robbie Williams and the Black Eyed Peas. It's also been noted that these performers are being heavily compensated for their appearances.
They drove a dump truck full of money up to my house. I'm not made of stone.
Okay, Rebecca, are these celebs and artists just a bunch of sellouts, or is it not so simple?
It's a lot of money, sure, I get it. But, you know, we've seen... first of all, they've gone back on what they were allowing players to kind of, you know, not promote, but like to show their support for the LGBTQ plus community with the armbands. They went back on that. You know, there's just so many issues with this World Cup.
Think of money as pubic hair and FIFA as wax.
All right, Rebecca, moving on to The Walking Dead, as the zombie apocalypse series has taken its final bow after 11 explosive seasons. A not too shabby 2.27 million viewers tuned into what many called a bittersweet finale, but the Walking Dead franchise also managed to spark a new beginning. This thanks to an ending sequence that saw the return of some fan favorites.
It's like she told you. There's no escape for the living.
So what comes next? Well, spin-offs, of course. For one, the characters Maggie and Negan will headline their own series set in New York City. Meanwhile, Daryl will tackle his own show, and Rick and Michonne will hopefully get back together in their own previously announced series.
You showed me that. You gave me that.
Rebecca, forget closure. The Walking Dead has spin-offs for days. Is it time to move on, or is the future bright?
I think one of the reasons people kind of lost interest in The Walking Dead was because the characters they cared about weren't still around, like Rick and Michonne, and if they're back in a spin-off, then, you know, these are people you care about and want to see again. So I'm not really worried for the future of The Walking Dead.
All right, well, last for us on this week's Hollywood Headlines, Rebecca, is a look at some of the tributes being paid to the late Jason David Frank.
Hey, guys.
Tommy!
You don't have to do it alone this time.
Fans were understandably left heartbroken upon learning the passing of Frank, who we all know played the green/white Power Ranger all the way back in the 90s hit TV series.
White Tiger!
Touching tributes continue to pour in for the actor, martial artist, and beloved convention guest, including one from the OG Pink Ranger herself, Amy Jo Johnson.
Just thinking about Jason a lot, and I hope you guys are okay.
Rebecca, this is yet another passing that has hit the geek community so hard. What do you think it was about Jason that connected himself so much with fans and meant so much to them?
Well, I was talking to one of our colleagues, Andrew, who's like a Power Ranger super fan, and so I'm going to try to do his words justice because he had a lot to say. The actor himself was a talented martial artist. You know, you could always trust that if he was doing a cameo in a project, that cameo was actually, or that project was actually relatively legit. And most importantly, I think for a franchise like this, he never looked down on the material or, you know, the fans, or he really genuinely showed care and love for the franchise.
Anything's possible.
You really think so?
I know so.
Hey, Rebecca, I can't thank you enough for joining us here today and breaking it all down.
Thank you for having me.